This week on The Facts, overcrowding at HalCon left hundreds of fans out in the cold.
Remembrance Day, how Halifax remembers.
And a scavenger hunt for a good cause.
Hi, and welcome to a new season of The Facts. I'm Jennifer Grudich.
And I'm Bria McDonald. This season, we're coming to you from our palatial newsroom at the University of King's College.
In our top story tonight, there was good news and bad news at the region's biggest sci-fi convention. HalCon brought out sci-fi, fantasy, and gaming fans in astonishing numbers this weekend. And yet, there was a lot of disappointment. Sarah Larnuk has more.
By mid-Saturday morning, thousands of people had showed up to Halifax's 4th annual HalCon, and many of them waited in line to pick up their tickets. It was around noon when the World Trade and Convention Center reached its capacity.
We are setting up a table outside for a refund. Nobody will be entering the premises for the rest of the day.
So a new line was formed at the Grand Parade, and frustrated fans waited in the cold for their refunds. Some chose to take cash. Others chose to try their luck again on Sunday.
Thank you very much. We've learned that we're very popular. We're hoping that people will bear with us. We never in our wildest dreams imagined that this would happen.
Inside, the convention sessions continued as planned, but organizers were unable to say how many people were in the building or how many tickets had been sold.
People are obviously upset, and so are we. We hate disappointing people. We do this, we're all volunteers. We do this because we love it and we love making people happy, and it hurts when we can't. But we're trying really hard, and thanks for your patience.
There were mixed feelings among those waiting for refunds.
I honestly don't think they were expecting quite this much turnout today.
Everything was crowded and we couldn't really get into anything, so it wasn't very good.
Yeah, we wanted to see the costume contest, but there was just a crowd of people. There wasn't even a lineup to see it, so we couldn't see that.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to make all these plans and not get to see what we came to see.
HalCon's going to be great. I look forward to the next one. I look forward to tomorrow. And I wish everyone the best. People here, the fire marshals, everyone trying to make this as good an event as they can.
But the day was not a complete loss for those standing in the cold. Peter Davison, former star of Doctor Who, came out to take photos with the fans. People crowded around, excited to get some one-on-one time with the Fifth Doctor.
It's been a long, cold day for these sci-fi fans. Numbers for HalCon keep continuing to grow. Organizers are going to have to make the plans for next year to accommodate the larger numbers. For The Facts, I'm Sarah Larnuk.
Halifax had its share of aliens at HalCon, but a different kind of creature invaded a university campus last week. Dalhousie Student Union sponsored an enhanced game of tag called Humans vs. Zombies. Most gamers start as humans and their only defense, Nerf guns. If they are attacked by a zombie, they too become undead.
I'm already loving this. We just started like a couple hours ago. I've been running back and forth across campus all day. I'm freaked out and it's glorious.
Organizers would have liked a higher turnout for the event, but hope to try again soon.
If the thought of zombies makes your heart stop, don't worry. With the right training, ordinary people can help save lives. More than 100 people from all over Halifax took part in a free CPR workshop at Mount St. Vincent last week. The Heart and Stroke Foundation provided the training as part of the Undeading campaign. Organizer Adam Pittman explains how to save someone's life.
There are 3 simple steps to hands-only CPR. Step number 1, call 911. Step number 2, push hard and fast. And of course, step number 3, don't hesitate because you can't do harm.
I saw a lot of confidence in the room, which is very good. It's makes me think that if they were to encounter a situation, I'm sure that someone would kind of jump in and take action, which is, again, the goal of the training here.
Remembrance Day was on Monday. There were commemoration ceremonies all over the city. The main event was held at Grand Parade Square. Jennifer was there to capture the sights and sounds. After all we've heard about the Holocaust, it's still hard to imagine what it was like. This week, junior high students had a rare opportunity. They met a man who was barely their age when he was put into a Nazi concentration camp. Jennifer Cameron has the story.
An inspiring field trip marks the 10th annual Holocaust Education Week here in Halifax. More than 400 students came to spend their morning with Alex Moskovich. They watched a documentary about how he survived his childhood, being trapped in a Nazi camp until he was 13 years old.
We are traveling many different places to show the documentary because I think it, especially for students, it's very important to know of what happened in the Second World War, especially about the Holocaust. The documentary is made specifically for the younger generation, because let's face it, I'm not going to be here much longer. That's the reality of life. And what will happen after all the survivors die off?
Moskovich's son, Stephen, made the documentary.
It's difficult for a parent to tell his children about the atrocities and all the things, so you had to be very careful.
Kinderblock 66 tells how Alex and 3 other Jewish boys survived one of the most notorious Nazi death camps during the Second World War.
I just wanted to say, your movie really put things into perspective for me.
Don't be a bystander. Speak up. Because if you speak up, other people will speak up with you. And there's a very strong possibility that you can stop something like this from ever happening again.
I'm Jennifer Cameron for The Facts.
Veterans of modern-day wars have found a new way to mark Remembrance Day. On Saturday, about 65 people completed a military-style workout. Bria found out why.
It's an unconventional Remembrance Day event. Veterans, along with families and friends of all ages, are getting together for a high-intensity workout. Katie Parker and Keith Kenny helped organize the event. They call it a workout to remember.
Fitness is such a key component of the military lifestyle that it feels like an actionable remembrance. It feels like you're actually contributing something of yourself to show others that you want to give them the respect and honor that they deserve.
For veterans, it's important to be physically fit.
Spending 40 minutes of exercise, depending on whatever level you're at, is really, recognizing that these individuals that went overseas, they are working in the hot sun, they're working in the deserts, and 40 minutes is the least we can do to thank them for what they've done for us.
A local gym donated the space for the workout.
I mean, a lot of the traditional Remembrance Day ceremonies, they were for the older population. I think the younger people are becoming more aware of it now, and it gives them an opportunity to be a little bit more active and be involved in the community.
The fun workout is less somber than most events around this time of year.
I think historically, those ceremonies, that sort of thing is something that, a lot of people participate in, but I believe the younger generation want to do something a little bit more.
Participants had fun and kept in mind the serious message of Remembrance Day. They also raised over $1,000 for Pause for Thought. It pairs veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder service dogs. For The Facts, I'm Bria McDonald. There was an unusual workshop at Pier 21 for the lead up to Remembrance Day. It demonstrated how to make popular hairstyles for women from the 1940s. Victory rolls.
A lot of clothing and makeup was rationed. Before that, you had a lot of long flowing dresses. So for ladies that were trying to appear feminine and beautiful, without makeup and without having their long flowing dresses, what they would do is they would decorate their hair.
The victory roll is a roll that goes towards the scalp. So if you were doing, it's traditionally, a lot of people see it on the sides. There'll be a roll on either side, and it would be rolled up towards your scalp.
They were named for the flight maneuvers of fighter pilots during the war, and it was like a patriotic thing to call them victory rolls.
Oh, that's cute.
They looked fancy. You could dress them up by putting decorative clips, flowers in their hair, but they were also practical. It was easy to roll the hair back and up away from the face so it wouldn't get caught in any machinery if they were working in factories.
And I've never learned how to do any retro hairstyles, so this is a first for me. I'll definitely add it to my arsenal.
It really does a lot for
war vibes and stuff because they concentrate on the guys a lot for Remembrance Day, but they don't concentrate on like the stuff that the ladies did too.
Because this is hard stuff.
Coming up on The Facts, we'll find out what people want to name the new harbor ferry.
And scientists are worried about the future of bats in Nova Scotia.
It's tough, isn't it? Very tough.
While they may not be everyone's favorite animal, bats are an important part of Nova Scotia's wildlife. And after all, bats eat bugs, and we like them even less. But the bats are in trouble now. Sarah Larnuk has the story.
With November come colder temperatures, and as it gets colder, bats prepare to hibernate for the winter. But scientists are worried about how many bats will be left by spring. A fungus, commonly known as white nose syndrome, has been decimating the bat population in Nova Scotia. The fungus was first discovered in this province in the spring of 2012 after spreading across the northeastern United States and eastern Canadian provinces. Hugh Broders has been studying bats for more than 15 years, and he's never seen anything like it.
You can see that often the animals are clumped together. As they touch each other, the fungus can move from bat to bat. It's also possible that part of the transfer of the fungus and the transmission of the disease was aided by humans, because it's a winter disease. Through the winter is when they get really infected, the fungus grows, it kills them basically through starvation, dehydration, and a number of other physiological changes that happens.
Just shivering. What's you gonna do, buddy? It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, we had one site, for example, that had 3,400 animals in December. It had 4 in early April.
Broders and his team studied 5 of the biggest caves, or hibernaculums, in central mainland Nova Scotia. Last winter, the decline of bats in those caves varied from 85% all the way up to more than 99%.
It's actually somewhat disappointing what we know so far about the fungus, and disappointing in terms of there's not a lot of hope for the bats that are here right now.
Any recovery of the populations will take decades. They don't give birth to many young each year, just one pup typically per year, and maybe it's only one pup every other year.
Broders isn't optimistic about the outcome of this winter either.
Cape Breton Island to be hammered. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's my guess. Any other parts of Nova Scotia that were a refuge last year, I'm guessing will be impacted this year.
In less than 2 years, white nose syndrome has landed Nova Scotia's 3 most common species of bats on the province's endangered list, and it's likely to continue its spread across the country. Scientists don't know how to save the bats yet, but they asked Nova Scotians to call the Department of Natural Resources if they see a bat between now and May 15th. For The Facts, I'm Sarah Larnuk.
The city's planning public hearings on what happens next to a controversial house on the Northwest Arm. Gene Jensen's house is supposed to be for boats, not people. He's lived here with his wife for over 30 years, but his city report says the whole place should be torn down.
Well, if they follow through on their previous threat, they will demolish this building, this house, and any other buildings that are on the property.
According to the original permit in 1982, Jensen's home was supposed to be on a different lot, further from the water. But he says he was out of town when the permits were filed, and he didn't know the house was illegal.
Obviously, my naivety isn't an excuse, but we built the building based upon the fact that we thought we had a permit, and we didn't.
He has applied for the city to amend the current bylaws so he can keep his house. Public hearings will be held in 2 to 3 months.
A van with a collage of photos on it has been sitting in the parking lot at Point Pleasant Park for a few days now. Carly Connolly found out why.
Tim Van Horn is the founder of the Canadian Mosaic Project, and he's made a stop right here in Halifax. Having shot over 30,000 photos, his goal is endless leading up to Canada's 150th birthday in 2017. He has lived in his van now for 42 months, traveling with his dogs to different parts across Canada, capturing Canadians and their differences.
My mission has turned into this epic journey to photograph 36,000 people, 0.1% of the population. And so for 7 years, I traverse the landscape, I meet all these wonderful people, and I create this beautiful look at our cultural identity and the meaning of life and our humanity with each of these portraits. And so that's my mission. And so I see this opportunity to bring us together for this 150th birthday with the story of life, who we are, what life is all about. And so this is my way of giving back to the people.
You will be in Halifax until the 17th of November in Point Pleasant Park, meeting as many people as he can. For the facts, this is Carly Connolly.
A new ferry will hit the waters of the Halifax Harbour in the spring. The city is leaving the naming up to the public. Olivia Rempel has more.
Weekday commuters between Halifax and Woodside are getting their first new boat in 25 years. This spring, a new ferry added to the fleet means more crossings. All that's left is the name. It's been narrowed down to 5, but now the public has been asked to vote for their favorite. The options are Robert Keddy, a popular ferry captain in the 60s, Shibukto, a Mi'kmaq word meaning biggest harbor, Daniel Brownlow, Dartmouth's longest-serving mayor, Vincent Coleman, a railway dispatcher who was celebrated for saving lives during the Halifax explosion, and Christopher Stanix, a Halifax soldier who was killed in Afghanistan. We asked some people down by the waterfront what they think.
Coleman. I think that's important. Him saving all those lives during the explosion.
Christopher Stanix.
And I'd choose the same one, just as a remembrance of somebody that served our country.
And he gave his life for his country in the field of battle, and particularly at this time of year, we remember these brave soldiers, and for all those reasons, I think that he's a perfect candidate to lend his name to the new ferry.
Some people have criticized the lack of diversity in the final 5 selections, with not a single female represented, and the only Aboriginal name not even a person.
I would choose Chibukto because of the overwhelming white male statues along the waterfront. I think the Mi'kmaq are very underrepresented in the city.
Of the 20 people we talked to, most said they'd vote for Vincent Coleman, with a total of 9 votes, and 2 people were still unsure, but the results will have to wait until early December. For the facts, I'm Olivia Rempel.
You may have seen families dressed all in blue running all over the city last weekend. There was a scavenger hunt on Sunday to raise awareness about diabetes. Diabetes affects millions of Canadians. Megan Morelli reports.
The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation is raising awareness and having some fun while they're at it. Sunday's photo scavenger hunt had teams racing around town in the rain. They took pics of diabetes-related stuff, like blood sugar testing, low-carb snacks, and insulin.
The scavenger hunt is a great option for getting citywide. So in order for us to kind of spread out literally, physically throughout the community and kind of literally spread awareness from one block to another. So and to talk to people that we may not have the opportunity to talk to in other events that we have.
If diabetes goes untreated, it can cause heart disease, kidney disease, and nerve damage. It's the second year for this event. Sue Bootlier brought her daughter to the hunt both times.
I've lived with type 1 diabetes since I was 7, and so it inevitably becomes part of the whole family. So Anna, my daughter, and Max the dog, and the people at home, we're here for them. And it's just something fun to help raise awareness for the global impact of diabetes.
The scavenger hunt kicked off World Diabetes Day, which is later this week. For the facts, I'm Megan Morelli.
We'll be back after this. Judges in Halifax are sporting new looks this month. Many of them are growing mustaches for Movember as part of the annual fundraiser for men's health. Justice Michael Wood is on the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia. He is also a co-chair of the Judges Movember team. Judges can't ask the public for donations, but
We rely on our colleagues and family members to make donations, but it's not really about us raising money. It's more participating in the wider campaign and getting public awareness out there.
All rise, please. He thinks that seeing judges in the courtroom with mustaches sends an important message.
I think most people get a little chuckle out of it, particularly when they see judges who maybe they're used to seeing in a certain way and all of a sudden they look a little bit different, and so I think some people enjoy that. But I think more importantly, they get a sense that judges are real people.
The judges still have until the end of November to grow the perfect mustache.
There are lots of stories coming out of the King's Journalism School. Listen to the Radio Room. It's on CKDU 88.1, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. The Halifax Commoner is published every Friday. You can find it in coffee shops and on newsstands all over Halifax. And don't forget to check out unews.ca for up-to-date local, national, and international news. That's all for this week. Before we go, it's Sports Week on our website. Be sure to check out thefacts.wordpress.com. We have stories on football's Loney Bowl and indoor cricket in North End, Halifax. For The Facts, I'm Jennifer Grudich.
And I'm Bria McDonald. Thanks for watching.